Okay, and we're back for the last half of my sketchbook tour. Now, yes, I am dressed the same. I did all of these intros and outros in the same day because it was just easier. So that's it. Like and subscribe if you like this sort of thing. And we're going to get straight into it because I know that we kind of left it halfway through a couple of days ago. So I'll see you at the end of this one. Okay, so this is where we get into the pieces that I was now painting. So my sister suggested me to do white rhino, which if you've seen my elephant piece, you'll see where that came from and why I started doing that. And this was me. So by this point, this was a few weeks later, I had finished a few different paintings and I felt really burnt out, like I had nothing left in me, because I feel like a painting actually takes more from me than a soft pastel piece did, and I just wanted to do something that was really plain and simple and just, yeah, I mean, I messed up the unicorn horn, that's what it's supposed to be, but it did what I needed it to do, which was just kind of reset my creative thoughts and process and stuff without feeling too drained anymore. This was practicing for a piece that I did of my 4 horsemen, which war was the first YouTube video I ever did, so if you want to see that process. This was pestilence or plague, and this was famine, so I enjoyed doing those. This was a little orchid flower that my lovely partner Damien got for me, so I thought before my cats chew it to pieces I was going to do some quick studies of it. This one I ended up using in a piece for Gemini, which is his birth sign, so that was, I really liked the way that turned out in the piece. This is me just practicing something different with my portraits rather than always having like my signature Curious Roses. I thought this is my sketchbook, I don't need to have that on everything. I really liked the eyes in this piece, not so much the rest of it, but the eyes, I really liked that. Okay, so this was Locust for Plague, just practicing drawing those out. All 3 of these ended up being used, although I stuck with the original colour palette. This was inspired by an artist, I cannot pronounce it again, it'll be below, but she does this whole like skull masquerade, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to do my own version just for fun, and I based like the hair colour and stuff on my sister. Okay, this is the worst page in my spread, I will admit that. I was trying out different bugs, but I wasn't happy with the way they turned out, and even this piece that I did as acrylic paint, I wasn't happy with that final piece. I tried doing a portrait and I just couldn't, it was just one of those things, whatever I was doing on these 2 pages, it just didn't work the way I wanted to. So in the end I ended up covering it over. So this is a tarot card that Zeke's lunchbox has done. This is another sticker, that one of my first attempts, another sticker by Mini Small, and yeah, it needed being covering up. So this is the lowest point in my sketchbook personally, but you know what, sometimes you just gotta have them. This was me practicing my swans for my Swan Lake, which is the 2nd YouTube video. If you're interested, you can have a look at that. This was me testing out some newts. I ended up doing this one in a final piece, but different colour scheme. I was really pleased with how this turned out. This is me, Sailor Moon. I really love Sailor Moon, and this spread is very colourful because I've been watching Zeke's lunchbox and she does the most beautiful colours, and it really inspired me. And she does this like stencil thing. I didn't have a stencil at this point, so I was just like, I'm just going to draw these circles in, and okay, it didn't work that well, but I liked the whole idea and the colour scheme of it all. So, and you know, Sailor Moon, how can you not like Sailor Moon? Okay, so this is another really important part of my sketchbook. So this is the point where I took this sketchbook out with me to draw outside for the very first time. So I'm normally very nervous, I don't like drawing in front of other people, although I am starting to get over that. And me and my partner Damien, we went to the Horniman Gardens, which is in Sydenham in London, and they have the most beautiful gardens. And it was a lovely morning, and so I thought, you know what, I'm actually going to sit down and draw. So Damien sat waiting for me very patiently while I did some drawing. I added the watercolour when I got home because I don't have a travel watercolour set, which is something I do want to get. And then this one was actually inside the butterfly gardens, and oh my god, was it sweltering because it was so hot outside, and then inside obviously it's kept even warmer for the butterflies. And I think Damien actually melted while he was waiting for me, but he did so without complaint. It was really sweet of him. But I mean, these may not look like much, but it meant a lot for me because that was a big step in my confidence in being able to take a sketchbook outside and draw without caring if people were looking at me. So yeah. This was my first and only piece for mermaid, which if you follow on Instagram, there's this whole thing where you can draw a mermaid during May and people do like 2 or 3 a week. Yeah, I tried it, failed, yeah, let's just ignore that. This is me practicing for my Cancer Zodiac piece. Again, this is another YouTube video. I said, oh, I'll definitely have it done. Yeah, I do not have it finished. I still have not got around to finishing it, but never mind. This is another time when we went outside. This is when we went up to London. It's also where I managed to damage this because I got water on my sketchbook, which is why some of the pages are really messy. But this was inside a pizza place we went to, and I really liked their decor. Pizza, not so much, but you know. And this was just something that I decided to randomly do. Why not? This is a piece that my little brother actually inspired. So he had come round and we were doing lots of drawings and he said, let's draw some sea slugs. And I was like, okay, are they a thing? Turns out they are a thing and they are really cool. They're really fun. This is me trying to practice some different positions. So I'd realised from this point, I always do my faces in the same way. So a bit like how I used to always do my roses in the exact same way. I was doing the same with my faces. So I thought, you know what, I need to start doing different angles, different facial expressions, just something different with it all. So yeah, so that was that point. Okay, so this is where I start feeling a bit more confident in my sketchbook. This is where I start going, okay, I'm more confident in my abilities. So we have a crocodile skull, which ended up being a piece that I painted, and again is another YouTube video. This is me testing out some Bic Crystal multicolour pens, again as suggested by Zeke's Lunchbox. As you can tell, she is inspiring quite a lot. And this is me testing out some facial expressions. So this is actually a portrait of me on using a Snapchat filter, which the next few they are actually just me, because I thought it was really fun to try and test out different facial expressions, and I didn't want to copy them from the internet. I wanted to actually take my own photos. So Snapchat for the win. And I actually feel like my watercolour skill level is getting much better. I feel a lot more confident with it at this point. This is me testing out some little bugs. This ended up being a piece for one of my bookmarks, which I was really pleased with. And this one is a caterpillar, although honestly, I'm sure it's an alien. That is an alien. There is no way that's just a caterpillar. Just going to put that out there. Again, trying different facial expressions. I actually really liked this more muted, mellow colour palette. I really enjoyed that. I think the browns and the blues went really well. Okay, so this is another commission. So this is the YouTube video I did on commissions with my 4 horsemen. This was me testing out the sundial that he wanted. So I'd done these 2 different designs and sent them off to him, and then we kind of went on one, and mainly this one, and then we adjusted it slightly. So yeah, so that was that. Okay. So this is where I go back into practicing things to put with my artwork. So I had done some crystals, realised I have not practiced crystals in ages, so I decided to do some. I'm actually really pleased with how this one turned out. But yeah, so I was quite pleased with that. Again, watercolour, fine liners. This is me again, just trying out different facial expressions. I was actually kind of pleased how this one kind of came out. I know it seems a bit odd and some of the proportions aren't amazing, but yeah, I'm actually quite pleased with this. Okay, so this is, I'm not going to go into too much detail. This is a video on YouTube of me trying out gouache for the first time. Okay, so this is a series that I did for Hear No Evil, See No Evil. I will admit I've only done this one so far. It was a YouTube video. I'm not 100% pleased with the results. I don't know whether I'm going to finish these, but this was all just done in fine liner. And this is a piece that my sister wants for her birthday, so I was just testing that out. Again, just practicing some more insects and things. This was a prompt, so if you're on Patreon with Zeke's Lunchbox, she has a Discord channel, and her prompt was cacti and portrait morph. It was okay. I'm not 100% with it, but it will do. More commissions, this time for Father's Day, so this was for the same person. In the end we went for this version rather than this one, kind of Odin's cross, and then the raven or crow to go with it, but yeah. This is another Father's Day commission, this time a dog portrait. Father's Day was quite good actually, I had a couple of commissions come through. This is me practicing more portraits, but Honestly, I'm not impressed with this one. I feel like I've done much better on previous ones, and this was a bit more of a rush job. Last couple of pages. So this is me practicing my animal skulls. So I've done this armadillo, that ended up as a final piece. This is a warthog skull. I don't know whether I'm going to use it. I may use it later. This is a moth. That was inspired by Birds Away. Again, I'll have it linked below, but I really liked this, and that ended up as a final piece. And my very final page. I really like this page. It's so bright and colourful, and decided to go with a peacock. And yeah, you know what? I was really pleased with this spread. This was a really nice finish, and by this point I had finally gotten myself a stencil, so I could actually start doing these little colourful blobs that I really liked. But yeah, that is it. Okay, well, that's it. Thank you very much for watching my sketchbook tours. Now, I can't say when the next one's going to be because my sister got me this amazing sketchbook. It is so colourful and beautiful, but it is huge. There are so many pages in it, and it's not something I can take out around with me, so this is going to take me a while to fill. So the idea that I'm thinking of, and let me know in the comments below if you think this is a good idea, I'm thinking when I get a third of the way through this, I'll then do a tour of the first third, do that for each like third of the sketchbook, and then when it's finished I will then do a sketchbook tour of the best parts and the worst parts and the things I learnt the most from, as like kind of like a sketchbook highlights. So that is going to take a while, so no promises on when that will be. My travel sketchbook is now actually going to be this little one. So this is one I picked up from Dayla and Brownie. It's a nice little A5 sketchbook. Again, this is going to take a while for me to fill up, mainly because I don't actually go travelling that much. But if I ever do want to take my sketchbook outside with me, then this will be the one I take. Again, I may do that whole like third or maybe a quarter and do a tour of that. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, I hope you have liked these videos. Please let me know if this is the sort of thing you'd like to see in the future, or if you're interested in just seeing me a bit more behind the scenes sort of stuff, maybe some vlogs potentially. Otherwise, have a lovely day, and as always, if you did like this video, please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out, and as usual, my links to my Instagram and my Etsy shop are below if you're interested in supporting me in any other way. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.